Hey guys, I'm Rich. Welcome to Rich with Cars. Today, I cannot believe I'm getting this opportunity to check out this car behind me. It's not even out yet. Deliveries are starting in about a month or so, but it's a brand spanking new Aston Martin DB12. I'm gonna give you guys an overall picture of this car because of course a lot of other reviewers and YouTubers gave already sort of a full-blown spec sheet and review of the DB12 when it was first launched in, I believe, in the Monaco area. And I wanted to give you guys sort of a deeper look inside the car, maybe even give you guys a POV drive of the vehicles. I'm super glad that I got this opportunity. I want to thank Aston Martin of Orlando for this opportunity. If you guys are looking for an amazing GT or what they call the Super Tour, I believe, this is your car. Guys, I mean, like I spent a little bit of time with it right now and I'm just blown away. And I want to give you guys sort of an in-depth look of first-person view of what this car is all about. Look at that gorgeous color. Anyways, guys, as always, let's take a look and strap in. So guys, let's get started at the business end of the exterior, which is where they made the biggest changes in the front. For the new 2024 DB12, they made some considerable changes. I find personally that it's got a mix of a look between a DB11 and a DBS Superleggera, and I love that look. What they ended up doing was they extended or they widened the front by 6 millimeters. And if you guys take a look here, just around the side, and look over there in the rear, on the rear haunch, they widened that by 22 millimeters. And the reason being is to give it a better stance and better stability. They can also fit wider tires because now this is what they call a Super Tour. With being a Super Tour, you got basically a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of character. You have the calm, gentleman-like type of drive alongside with a very raw and visceral drive. And that was the whole point of having this new design, and they changed a whole bunch of stuff under the skin over here. We got some new headlights over here, and it basically shows the new daytime running light signature for Aston Martin. And we have also this new grille. The new grille, as they say, is 56% larger on a production GT coupe from Aston Martin. Of course, it doesn't compare to the grille that you see on the DBX, but now the reason why they made it larger is because it can take in more air for that glorious twin turbo V8 engine sourced from AMG. Of course, Aston Martin put their magic on this engine. And then the other new thing over here that you see is a new badging. So this is the first ever Aston Martin that contains, or first ever production Aston Martin that contains a new badging. From the front, it looks so much more menacing, so much more wider, and like the front over here is so much bigger. Let's not forget also you have this new lower fascia alongside with a new front splitter. And guys, I can't show you on this side, but under the sun, this color is just magnificent. You can see a little glare over here with the sun coming through, and it's just glorious in terms of how beautiful this color is. It's got a lot of gold flake in it. It's a beautiful green color. I would say it's a little bit lighter than your typical British racing green. And then let's not forget, we have these amazing wheels now coming with Michelin Pilot Sport S5s. And you guys can see here it says AML. So that means that Michelin specifically made this tire for the Aston Martin DB12. Alongside now we see that this new wheel design is just absolutely gorgeous. I love how the bronze look goes with the green, because you do have this bronze that goes with a lot of the flakes over here as well. These are 21-inch rims, typical Aston Martin side gill over here that lets a lot of the built-up pressure from the wheel well. It lets it out from here. Beautiful design on the side view mirrors, and you guys can see that the side view mirrors now are frameless. When you adjust the angle of your side view mirror, the mirror itself doesn't move. it's the entire housing that moves. This whole thing moves. It's really, really cool stuff. And you guys can see here the hinge on where that actually moves around on, accentuating side sill. And you guys can take a look at the side profile view of the DB12. You still have that air intake that allows air to go in through this part, and then it exits right from there. It's what they call the invisible rear wing or rear spoiler. Look at how wide these tires are. 325s OEM on the DB12. Now that's part of the reason as to why you see the increased body width and you have that 22 millimeter increase in width on the rear. I'll show you guys from the rear portion how that looks like. Now, as we move towards the complete rear, you'll see that it looks very, very similar to the DB11. But you guys can see from this angle over here how much wider the DB12 is. I mean, just, oh my God, just look at that. It's just super, super wide. I love the look of it. They definitely made a massive improvement from the DB11, and this color is just stunning with these wheels. Very, very nice. I'll give you guys a little walk around tour just so you can take a real good look at the DB12. We're going to the inside, but before we get to the interior, I want to show you guys one little improvement. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember prior Aston Martins having this feature. Now, when you open the door, instead of actually having to keep your finger pushed in order to grab the handle over here, now you just push and it stays open. So you don't have to worry about grabbing it at the same time or having some good timing. Of course, we still have the hydraulic doors that basically keep the doors put at any angle you want or any opening. So that's really cool. I'm very happy that they managed to keep that. But you guys will see now that everything on the interior, this is where the majority of the improvement has occurred. We have a Bowers & Wilkins sound system on this. One massive improvement, guys, of course, what Aston Martin did with the DB12, they addressed all the minor issues that prior DB11 had and prior Aston Martins had. One of them being, and I haven't really seen this, is the fact that now you're not reaching over like on the old door handles on the Aston Martins. Now it's just normal door handle, which I think is much more convenient. You have satin carbon fiber finish, and you have a door handle over here, but I think you can even store some stuff in here as well, because there is quite a bit of space and you can store small things in there. So it acts both as a door handle and some storage as well. And then you have a little bit of extra storage over here. You don't have much of a ledge, so you got to be careful in terms of things falling out of here, but you do have some space over there as well. Then of course you have your pedals that are mixed with aluminum and a rubber to keep your feet on the pedals. And then your door sill showing DB12, hand built in Great Britain. Very nice. And then typical Aston Martin couture, really nice materials and craftsmanship. You guys can see that the Alcantara goes all the way to the bottom of the seat. You have Alcantara here on the middle part of the seat as well, with some very nice stitching. You have your typical Aston Martin embroidery on the headrest. Welcome to the brand new Aston Martin DB12 interior. Everything has been updated, improved. It's a completely redesigned interior. You guys can see now that the previous waterfall design of the middle console for the Aston Martin DB11 was retained to some degree, but now it's got a completely different look as you go down. You have a mix of physical buttons alongside with a brand new infotainment system developed in-house by Aston Martin. They did a lot of work in terms of R&D to develop their own infotainment system, which based on my short time with it, it's been very, very nice, quite responsive, and very clear. What really blows my mind as well is the camera. You guys can see over here, look at this. Look how clear the cameras are now. And you even have 3D as well. Look at that. You got brand new paddle shifters. You got a brand new gauge cluster, fully digital, and it's very customizable as well. Now, if you guys see over here, I can change the view on the middle to navigation. I can put media as well if I wanted to. I can even choose what type of media, vehicle information, driver assistance as well. So this has full driver assistance, as you guys can see. It's got the cruise control, automatic cruise control with radar distance control as well. Your limiter for your cruise control, you can set it over here. Voice commands. I haven't spent much time with it myself to be able to show you guys around, but I can tell you that this is a 100% improvement from what Aston Martin had before. They really did a phenomenal job with the gauge cluster, with the infotainment. It's really now updated to compete with the rest of the vehicles in its class. Not a massive binnacle, just enough to block some of the sun so you don't get much of a glare over there. But I really like it. It's a 10.25 inch TFT display. And then, like I said before, you have this middle touchscreen over here. That's also 10.25 inches. Look how snappy it is. It's very responsive on the map itself. You have telemetry now here. You can it shows you the horsepower, battery voltage, the torque as you're driving. You have your temperature over there. If you want to get to the AC controls, you can get it. You can do it from there, and you can also do it from a physical button perspective as well. Very nice feel to the dials. It's very high quality for both your temperature knobs and your volume and your fan. What's really impressive, guys, is the drive mode selector, and it's so like commanding. That's what I mean. Such a nice feel to this. They did a phenomenal job. The cool thing now about switching on your different drive modes is that you can switch on drive modes, for example. So let's say I want to go to GT mode, right? So I'm in GT, but then I can also switch individually the suspension and the exhaust. So let's say I'm in GT mode. Using GT mode, the exhaust is a little bit quieter, or it's in the quietest mode. But now that's in Sport, and that's in Sport Plus, I believe. And you have a louder exhaust, so the valves open up now. Now, of course, Aston Martin gives the clients an option of choosing different types of inlays, but this particular inlay is gorgeous. It's a satin finish carbon fiber. It's really, really nicely done. Middle cup holders over here. You also have a middle compartment with quilted leather. It's really, really gorgeous. Some space here in the middle, and then this one has both USB-C plugs in here in the middle, alongside with a 12-volt cigarette style plug in there as well. You have your seat controls here in the middle. That's in typical Aston Martin fashion. And then the coolest thing of all, I hope you guys can see, you have a little storage compartment under the floating waterfall middle console that also acts as a wireless charger. Amazing paddle shifters, brand new steering wheel, feels incredible, leather wrapped center portion, all the new controls over here. Let me give you guys a different look on the steering wheel from a different angle. It's a nice 3-spoke sporty steering wheel with a touch of class as well. Aston Martin style. Your leather quilted ceiling as well. Gorgeous seats. You have your middle subwoofer here for the Bowers & Wilkins sound system. And part of this redesign on the Aston Martin DB12 interior is also this new gear lever that controls the ZF 8-speed transmission. It's small enough, but also big enough to be able to, it's sort of like a Porsche style, but I like the fact that this one is leather wrapped. So you're able to change all the gears accordingly, and then if you want to put it on park. This interior, frankly speaking, Aston Martin really hit it out of the park in my opinion. And I love the fact that they addressed all the small issues from their prior models, like on the DB11. Now you even have, guess what guys, you even have a glove compartment as well. You have all the creature comforts. It's a really comfortable car, beautiful interior. I don't think there's been much that's been changed on the trunk, but you guys see Aston Martin style umbrella. I'll show you guys on the screen how much space you have, but I do like the fact that you do have this large opening to be able to put a few larger items. Let me show you from this angle. It's perfect angle to show you how the air travels through the side air intakes into that air wing. You can see right there the intake where the air travels to bring it up to that wing here. You do have this camera here that is part of the camera system. Now into the heart of this gorgeous Aston Martin DB12. So we retain the AMG sourced twin turbo 4-liter V8. Now in this particular model, the DB12, they managed to tweak it a little bit to bring it up to 671 horsepower and 590 pounds per foot of torque. It's very similar to what the DB11 was with the V12, but now you have a smaller V8 with just as much power, if not maybe a little bit more, and is mated to a ZF 8-speed transmission. It's called the ZF 8H P75, and guess what guys, it's rear mounted, it's a transaxle, so it's for better weight distribution. So that definitely helps in terms of the dynamics of the vehicle. Your 0 to 60, 3.5 seconds. That's Aston Martin claimed. 0 to 62 miles per hour, which is 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, is 3.6 seconds with a top speed of 202 miles per hour. Very, very impressive. Now, in terms of the body, we have a aluminum bonded monocoque body shell and aluminum and composite body panels, of course, with frameless door windows. So the suspension actually has been reworked quite a bit, and you have independent double wishbone coil springs in the front with an anti-roll bar, and then for the rear you have a multi-link suspension with coil springs and anti-roll bars as well. Let's not forget, as you guys can see over here, you guys see the wire right there on the strut tower. You do have adaptive dampening system that basically goes alongside with the different drive modes of GT, Sport, Sport Plus, Wet, and Individual. So we have a total of 5 different driving modes. The total weight of the vehicle, a curb weight of 1,820 kilograms. Weight distribution now, because you have a much more dynamic vehicle, is almost 50-50. So you do have a 48-52 front to rear weight distribution. So I'm going to be giving you guys a POV drive of the brand new Aston Martin DB12. Now just take a look at that beauty. Incredible. So let's get inside and go for a drive. Oh, that just sounds incredible. I'm gonna just take this straight to Sport Plus. I don't have much time to spend with this car, so let's just go and give it a try. So steering right off the bat feels light, very comfortable. Wow, engine response is incredible. Really, really nice. The transmission is quite fast as well. So when you brake, it automatically downshifts. So the transmission is really, really geared towards sportiness when you have it on Sport Plus. Let's not forget the ZF transmission in general is really, really nice. Suspension is very nicely calibrated, I would have to say. It's not super stiff. It's stiff enough to feel nimble, but it's not stiff to the point where it's uncomfortable. Let's not forget, this is still a super GT or super tour, what they call it. Brake feel is really, really nice. It doesn't get like a massive bite, but you have really nice brakes as well. Let's switch it into manual mode. So you guys can see the gear that I'm in shows right here, right next to the RPMs or in the RPM range. So it's a nice feel. Wow, so transmission's very quick. So as soon as I'm downshifting, so here, look. Almost immediate. They did a phenomenal job calibrating this transmission as well. And I love the feel of the steering wheel. It's really, really nice. It's not too thick, not too thin as well. It's got a nice little flat bottom over here. And I love the three spoke design, and I really do enjoy these relatively large paddle shifters as well. Wow. Yeah, this car definitely pushes hard. I mean, despite being a GT, first and foremost, it does feel like a sports car at the same time. The handling is really, really good. Let's go into GT mode. So ride control now is in comfort, so the suspension is a more comfortable feel now. I do like how the middle gauge cluster over here is all digital. There's not that much glare. This small binnacle over here really does cover some of the sunlight. Oh yeah, the suspension now in GT mode is so compliant. Wow, it's super soft and comfortable. I mean, it's not soft like a Lexus soft, but it's definitely distinguishable between the Sport Plus and the GT mode. It's much more comfortable. It's really like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yeah, the transmission even in GT mode is very, very smooth as well now. I have it in automatic, I don't have it in manual. Wow, the braking is incredible. I just took some hard braking there. It's really, really responsive, and it's got a nice bite to it. Man, it's really hard to say whether or not this is a GT. I mean, it's really a mix of GT with sports car, and it really hides its size and mass quite well. Now let's put it back onto Sport Plus. Yeah, this thing does push quite a bit. Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, now that I'm doing this, for sure, yeah. There's, in terms of responsiveness, the steering does have quite a bit of a difference between the Sport Plus and the GT. It's definitely really good. But I still want to say that the feel is quite soft. So it's more geared towards GT than sports car in terms of feel. Like, it's a soft feel. The overall drive feel of this car is just absolutely incredible. I mean, you get the best of both worlds. You get, you know, the comfortable feel of a GT car, and then when you really want to push it hard, you get more or less a sports car in here. It's really, really good. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick overview of the 2024 Aston Martin DB12. I'm absolutely amazed at how this vehicle has changed over its predecessor, the DB11, mainly with the front design, the wheels, the technology even. As always guys, I want to give you a big thanks for all the views, all the likes. I really do hope you enjoyed this one. I did, because I got some first-hand look at a brand spanking new vehicle before it takes delivery to its clients or customers. So big thanks to Aston Martin of Orlando to take this opportunity to review this amazing Super Tour. Make sure to check them out. I'm gonna leave some information on them in the description below. And as always, guys, stay tuned for more car content. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.